So let's have something to begin with. So this is how ICL patient who walks to us, a probable candidate. Now an ideal candidate for me would be a patient who has a clear cornea, age more than 18, no systemic illnesses, no connective tissue disorders, a very stable refractive error. So the patient is taken up for scan, and the most important in ICL patient is sizing. So sizing, I mean calculation of the anterior chamber depth, a white to white. I do a UBM, an angle assessment, gonioscopy, an OCT and a specular count in all our patients. Now when you're taking a patient for ICL, so the two parameters which are the most important is the anterior chamber depth and the white to white. Now anterior chamber depth, for me the gold standard would be a pentacam or optical biometer, either a 500 IL Master 500 or a 700. I would take readings from both the equipments and try to correlate. The endothelial cell density is again very important depending upon the age and the anterior chamber depth. Nothing below this should be addressed when you're taking a patient for ICL surgery. So this is what we do, a white to white with an IL Master as well as the anterior chamber depth. And so I address the patient to both a 700 and a pentacam. So once the sizing has been done and accurate calculation has been done, the patient is taken under topical anesthesia. Now what is more important is the loading of the lens. So this is how the bottle is supplied by the manufacturers. This is a soft tip cannula. You never touch or you never hold or never grab with an instrument. It is this soft tip which drags the ICL, and believe me, the optic is the most delicate part. The center is the most delicate. So this is the specialized cartridge. Put in a drop of HPMC, put in the ICL and gradually tap the ICL in such a way that you create a U-shaped fold and both the sides are anchored either ways. Ensure that all the three holes are in a line. So if the three holes are in line, you would never have an ICL rolling the reverse. So these are specialized crocodile forceps. Grab in your right hand, push it from the nozzle. So this is the reverse when you're doing a loading of a cataract, an IUL. Grab the ICL and you can do it either ways. You can either pull your left hand, keeping your right hand stable, or you can withdraw the ICL inside the nozzle. Once you see the ICL inside the nozzle, again ensure that all the three holes are in line. This is the specialized the injector being supplied by the manufacturers, no proprietary interest. The ICL is a Star proprietary, and we have our own Indian manufacturers manufacturing the IPCL from both the Biotech and the IOCare. Both are equally good. So the soft tip cannula is plunged inside the injector, and this is the cartridge which is then loaded from the front side. Put in a drop of again an HPMC and then lock it. And then you have to hold in such a fashion that the thumb has to apply the force with both the index and the middle finger holding, and never push the ICL with the wound assisted mode of entry. So the incision size is very important. I would always aim for a size somewhere between 2.8 and 3. I have an access to the Callisto and the Virion both. So under topical anesthesia, make two side port entries, 1.1. I would always do a 3mm incision because I feel that is the most comfortable size where you don't have the chamber going shallow. And viscoelastic choice could be of two types. You can use either an HPMC or a sodium hyaluronate. I think both have an equal surgeon preference. For me, HPMC works well. So when you are inserting, you have to be very careful that you don't touch either on top the endothelium and below the lens epithelium. So watch carefully. I put in the injector, the cartridge is within the wound, and very slowly with the tapping action, my eye is always on the three holes, the front, the middle and beneath, the trailing. So if the three holes lie in the same plane and they open up always in a horizontal plane, never shoot towards the sulcus, always shoot on the iris. Now this is the specialized manipulator. Grab the haptic and slowly clockwise and anti-clockwise direction you can push it underneath the iris. Be very gentle when you are pushing this. You can use a magnification of the microscope and then do the trailing plate at the last. I use the main port here. You can use either of the side ports depending upon your hand convenience. Before washing the viscoelastic, the lens has to be kept in the right position. If it's a toric IUL, you can either use a Mendes or you can use an automated or a markerless device, be it a Callisto or a Virion. So this is the Callisto, gives me the right axis, bang on. The last step is the viscoelastic wash. An adequate viscoelastic wash is a must in all ICL surgeries because retained viscoelastic is the biggest cause of day one rise in intraocular pressure. The wound is then stitched. Either ways, you do a hydro sealing of the wounds and the patient can enjoy good vision. So watch very carefully. The ICL goes in. I want you to see the three holes which I'm talking about. You can see the front, you can see the middle hole, you can see the line of the toric, and all three are in a single line. You will never have the ICL going the reverse direction. Go in, push in the viscoelastic on top of the ICL to create a space between the endothelium and the ICL so that you can easily manipulate and nudge these plates underneath the iris. And then you can gently wash away the viscoelastic. So I think ICL surgery is a great boon by which we all cataract surgeons can transform into great refractive surgery. In China now we have only ICL clinics where people just have an access to a microscope and they have transformed themselves to great refractive surgeons without an Excimer or Visumax, the costly equipments. Now watch carefully. Very initial cases, the ICL goes in and I'm not giving any heat to the way it opens up, and then I release and it opens up reverse. Don't panic. Push in viscoelastic, take back your crocodile forceps, just grab the plate and the junction of the ICL. Just look what I'm doing and gently pull away through your same 3mm incision. Believe me, the Collamer is a very soft material and it comes out very easily. The way it goes, it comes out easily. So even if you have an ICL moving in the reverse way, you can easily pull out the ICL, reload, and you can re-push the ICL in the same direction. In the paucity of time, I have a huge library here of the nightmares. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sonu. We can just take a single question before we end the session. We are already post our time. Any questions? Okay, yeah.
Any experience for cleaning the visco using a coaxial rather than a bimanual or a Simcoe? I've seen surgeons doing it with Simcoe as well. But don't you think it causes more endothelial cell loss as compared to doing it either with a bimanual or a coaxial?
See, I agree. There has been a lot of debate about using a coaxial, a bimanual, and I've seen people doing, even in live surgeries, using Simcoe cannulas. Yeah. So I think what works best in your hand is the way to go for it. Because at the end of the day, there is not much of endothelial loss which has been reported by simply doing away with viscoelastic by either of the ways. So I think what works best and the safest is the way to go. Now people have shifted from visco insertions to BSS insertions. So let's see what the world has to say. But I think at the end of the day, the viscoelastic, the take home is that the viscoelastic has to be washed thoroughly.
I think with a larger wound, like here the wound size is 3.2 millimeters, using a coaxial will be difficult. Because when you put coaxial, the lot of fluid will come out from the wound only. Because coaxials are either 2.8 or 2.2 millimeter, depending upon your phaco requirements, whether you are using 2.2 millimeter or you are using 2.8. Here the main port size is bigger. So using a coaxial will be more difficult because a lot of the fluid will flow out through the wound itself, which will make the anterior chamber shallow.